Are you looking for a massage chair online? If you are, and you're finding yourself more confused than ever, the more you research, you are not alone. The way these massage chair vendors and brands promote and market their products, it is easy to become overwhelmed by information you read online. Well, if this sounds familiar and you are frustrated with your research, you need to watch this video. First, there are too many brands of massage chairs in the U.S. market today, and that makes shopping very difficult to narrow down. Why, you might ask? Today, I estimate there are over 60 different massage chair brands. But here's the truth that very few shoppers realize about these brands. 90% of them are white label brands. White label is a common practice in retail. It means that a product is produced by one company for other companies to rebrand, to make it appear as if they are the original producers. In the massage chair industry, this often means that white label brands are simply imported generic factory chairs from China, and these companies stick their brand label on them. Hence, no label or white label. This means that the white label companies are not in charge of manufacturing, engineering, design, and more importantly, their quality. This is why many white label brands of chairs look identical to other brands. Even if the brands are different, they are exactly the same chair. Often white label importers will struggle to provide sustainable customer support and provide spare parts many years after your purchase. Now, white labeling in retail isn't unusual, but in the massage chair world, it creates real problems like, 1, lower long-term reliability, because they focus on mass production and lowest price points. 2, inconsistent quality from batch to batch. 3, no engineering support after the purchase. And 4, unreliable warranties, or warranties that are basically an insurance policy rather than a real commitment toward addressing customers' needs. And lastly, white label companies can easily file bankruptcy if product issues come up. Some have even been involved in lawsuits for deceptive marketing practices and have shut down their websites and companies just to reopen under a different corporate name. One of the telltale signs of companies maybe engaged in this is their heavy spending advertising on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, claiming that they're selling the same products as the quality brands, but for lower prices. And they claim they're cutting out the middleman. They have a large warehouse, but when you look, no retail store presence. So here's a very simple rule to keep in mind. If a company has no physical presence, no business history, no showroom, be very careful before you give them $3,000 to $10,000. Remember, always to check if there are any complaints on Better Business Bureau. Check their local Google business listing and their customer reviews. When you check their Google reviews, don't just rely on how many stars they have, because many reviews can be fake, and they can often be used to dilute down the real one-star reviews. I recommend you spend some time reading the reviews. Use good judgment on what sounds like a legitimate customer review versus a paid review. I would also check one-star reviews and see what problems are being highlighted. I would also check the length of the company's history under the same name. For example, some will claim that they have been around for 20 years, but when you check their corporate formation, often found in the Secretary of State application, you will find out the business is a new business. It's very possible that this business has opened and closed under multiple company names. Another simple check is to try to call the customer support phone number and see if a real person answers the phone. So as a buyer, you need to be aware of these misleading market techniques. If you can't verify who they are, your money, your warranty are at risk. Now that I've spoken about there being so many brands, let me talk to you about the second buyer's tip. You may already realize this, but it is a lot easier to create a website than to open a brick and mortar store. For less than $100, any person with a little knowledge can create a website and claim whatever they desire. So why is this relevant here? First of all, some brands have 10, 15, 20 plus different websites in order to dominate their presence on the internet. I'm not here to say this is illegal, but I would question their marketing ethics. To make this even worse, some companies will create what experts call shell websites. This is similar to companies creating shell companies to hide their real intent. So I personally know there are shell websites that can mislead you. Some of these pose themselves as massage chair repair companies or impartial product review sites, or even appear as a newspaper article that summarizes the top 5 chairs in 2025. These are all internet tricks companies are using to mislead shoppers. These techniques increase the exposure to shoppers when they're searching for key search terms such as best massage chairs or massage chair reviews. Although you can argue this is not illegal, it is unethical and distasteful in my view, and it takes advantage of the older generations who are not as internet savvy. This is why speaking with someone who carries multiple reputable brands is so valuable, because you can get real comparisons, not misleading advertising. Now that we've covered websites and companies that are unscrupulous, I would like to move on to my third helpful tip. In today's digital world, traditional websites are not the only way companies are trying to grab your attention. Nowadays, there are influencers and bloggers, and even some who act like medical doctors who are using platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to influence your buying decisions. Clearly, there are many legitimate businesses who are using these techniques. This is to spread awareness of their products and services. But you should take caution and understand that most of these are paid advertisements. Some honest influencers on social media are very transparent about the fact that they are receiving compensation for their review. Some are blatantly dishonest and will pose as real customers who made a purchase and they're doing an honest review of the product. Based on my research, most of the bloggers and social media influencers are sponsored. So when you hear someone saying, I have tried hundreds of chairs and this is the best one, I would be very careful. So the question you should ask yourself, how unbiased do you think these reviews are? Some will make statements like doctor recommended, clinically endorsed, or even FDA approved. This is one of my biggest pet peeves. Once again, they're trying to take advantage of the most vulnerable demographics, our older generation shoppers. So think about this when you run into one of these websites or people. Would a real physician with a medical license endorse a specific brand of any product, especially a massage chair? If they did, they would be opening themselves to an ethical, legal liability, and it could lead to them losing their medical license. Another similar example are people who call themselves doctor, and they are selling massage chairs. If you are a real medical doctor, why would you leave a lucrative field that you spent 10 plus years studying for to sell massage chairs online? Does that sound credible to you? But I guess it's possible they could have a doctorate degree with a non-medical field, but once again, that is a bit misleading in this context of massage chairs. So please be cautious with companies who are leading you to believe that their massage chair is more medically approved than others, or companies who make any medical claims, or influencers who make themselves more trustworthy by calling themselves doctor. I ran into a company who had a video testimony from a doctor who recommended their brand of massage chairs. I knew it was most likely a fake, but just to entertain myself, I looked this doctor's name up on the American Board of Medical Specialties website, and there was no doctor by that name in that state. Surprise! So I personally recommend you avoid any company who are making medical claims or even remotely insinuating their medical credibility by calling themselves a doctor or a specialist in a medical related field. This is a major red flag. But unfortunately, these tactics often target older buyers, the people who deserve the most honesty and protection. As I wrap up this video, I hope I have shared a few helpful hints that you will find useful. Buying a massage chair should not feel like navigating a minefield. So I have one last tip to share with you. Your exposure to contents from social media, websites, and YouTubes are often paid advertisements. Things you see on Google's front page are often a sponsored or paid exposure. It's like buying a billboard in front of millions of shoppers. It is no different than a paid TV commercial that most of us have experienced. So although this is perfectly legitimate advertising, you should recognize it is not unbiased. And you should validate what you find online. I would suggest you also use tools like ChatGPT to ask questions and do some cross-referencing of your research. Although AI platforms like ChatGPT are not perfect, massage chair companies cannot pay ChatGPT for ads like they can Google ads. So responses you get from ChatGPT will be an aggregation of what it finds online. When used correctly with correct prompt questions, ChatGPT can be a powerful tool. And until ChatGPT decides to charge for more exposure, or until people figure out how to outsmart the AI, I think AI tools like ChatGPT can be great. Remember that shopping for a massage chair should feel exciting. You should feel confident. It is a major investment that can bring you comfort and restoration in your life. So if you're shopping for a quality massage chair, please be careful of what you see and read online. Information exhibited on websites, news, social media, and more should be verified before you believe it. And if you can help it, do business with your local retail store who has a proven history of customer service. Find a retail store who has a variety of major global brands that you can try before buying. And if you are anywhere near DFW, Texas, we would be delighted to have you come and visit us. Whether you buy from us or not, I want you to buy wisely. Your comfort, your health, your long-term satisfaction truly matter to us. Thank you for watching today, and if you find this video helpful, please click on the subscribe or follow button and like this video. We appreciate your support. Thank you. Bye.